distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to deliver this keynote address on sustainable finance solutions in Nigeria, opportunities and challenges at this very important forum. More than any other dispensation in human history, action by the stakeholders has consistently been documented and echoed by world leaders at the United Nations Climate Change Conference of Parties. Even for the apathetic fellows, the impact of climate change is becoming ever more prevalent and self-evident, with unprecedented catastrophic events impacting individuals, communities, and entire nations. More than in any other dispensation in human history, the world is increasingly witnessing existential threats in the form of intense drought, heat waves, rising sea levels, storms, melting glaciers, and warming oceans, which all continue to negatively affect people's livelihoods and living conditions. An example is the recent flooding, which impacted about 83 of the 36 states in Nigeria, which resulted in the loss of lives, displacement of more than 1.5 million people, and destruction of assets valued in millions of dollars. These extreme events are prevalent across the world, with floods in Pakistan, extreme heat and intense drought in Europe, melting ice glaciers in the Antarctica, just to mention a few. Appropriate response by all stakeholders have never been more crucial, and the stakes continue to surge high. As Nigerians and citizens of the world, we have a collective responsibility to preserve and protect the world as we know it from further deterioration by working to reduce the effect of climate change and greenhouse emissions. The current administration, led by His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, has developed various policies and frameworks to guide Nigerian transitioning, among which are Nigeria's Energy Transition Plan, ETP, and Nigeria's Climate Change Act. The country's commitment to net zero by 2060 comes with a huge bill of 1.9 trillion, broken down into business as usual of 1.525 trillion, an incremental spend of 410 billion, with focus on infrastructure, power, oil and gas, industry, cooking, and transport to drive actualization of this target. The incremental spend of 410 million, averaging 10 billion yearly, will be financed by both government and private sector. Following the development of framework and regulation by government, the private sector must join forces with the government to implement practical solutions. As experienced in other parts of the world, transitioning can be expensive and must be orderly and market-driven to minimize the negative impact of a rushed and unprepared exit on economy and society, especially for a country like Nigeria, which depends considerably on high carbon assets and products. The question we must therefore ask ourselves and seek answers to in this gathering must border on developing long-lasting financing solutions. The emergence of climate change as an existential threat and commitment to climate-positive actions, including investment in sustainable solutions and investments geared towards accelerating decarbonization of all aspects of the economy, means the supply of network for capital flow must consider not just financial returns, but also environmental, social, and governance impact. This will require a shift from the traditional ways of assessing opportunities. Similarly, The Nigerian impact investment landscape is still at the nascent stage, with total impact capital at 4.7 billion, which is approximately 1% of the incremental funding requirement to meet the 2060 net zero target. The actors within the sustainable finance industry are similar to those of the traditional finance industry, with primary driver of investment decision grants, with primary drivers to create social value, to commercial business, with primary driver to create financial value. Impact investments, therefore, blends the social and financial values. In the context of Nigeria, there is a myriad of challenges with actors within the sustainable finance industry grapple with, albeit I'll highlight a few. The first is short-termism. The current financial systems induce market participations to focus on short-term results, as incentives and market pressures are designed to achieve immediate performance. Investments in renewable energy and other climate technologies only pay off if in the long run, which usually makes them unattractive for investments. Another crucial challenge relates to inadequate systems of measuring the impact of climate change-induced events, which results in information asymmetry, data inaccuracies, and an insufficient consideration of climate and other sustainability risks in decision-making. In the same vein, being nascent still grapples with an inadequate system of measuring the value realized from sustainability efforts. Auspicious data points showing the benefits and impacts realized from sustainable investments, funding, or other interventions could become significant resources to utilize more sustainability-related investments into the country. Although the sustainability finance space in Nigeria still has challenges, there are enormous opportunities that can be explored. Opportunities exist for government to provide incentives to market participants, to reward sustainability efforts and penalize otherwise. For instance, introduction of mechanisms for administering carbon taxes, levies, and framework for emissions trading. In the same vein, opportunities exist for investors and in some cases, investee entities to, one, access international funding targeted at investing into energy efficiency and renewable energy products. Two, expand market share through new business lines for innovative products and first mover advantages. Three, improve risk profile of portfolio, example, modeling energy cost savings as part of cash flow. Four, participate in a vibrant, sustainable finance marketplace that allows the supply of network, raise local currency nominated capital, and deployed to the demand network using sustainable finance instruments like equity, debt, impact, green climate bonds, pay for success instruments. I believe that as a country, we are on the right track, albeit slowly, towards becoming a net zero economy. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to an insightful debate.